Last week, I told you all I was done covering the story of Maxwell Chikumbutso. The reaction was intense. Some of you cheered. You said it was about time we focused on real innovation. Others were convinced I'd been paid off or that I was being silenced. Let me be absolutely clear. No one paid me. No one threatened me. I simply looked for proof where none existed. And that search changed everything. Today, I'm not just telling you what I'm moving away from. I'm showing you what I'm moving toward. We're done with faith. We're done with promises. Today is about evidence. This is about African technology that actually works right now. No faith required. Let's start with a problem you can see from space. Satellite images of sub-Saharan Africa often show a dark continent at night, but look closer at Rwanda. You'll see tiny consistent pin-pricks of light dotting the hillsides. Those lights aren't from the national grid. They are from a company called Zipline. Zipline doesn't build power plants. It doesn't make revolutionary batteries. It solved a delivery problem with drones. Here's how it works. A clinic in a remote village faces an emergency. A mother is hemorrhaging after childbirth. They need blood immediately. Technician at that clinic sends a text message at a Zipline distribution center. An order is received. A cold pack of the exact blood type needed is placed into a small cardboard box. This box is loaded into a small fixed-wing drone. The drone is launched from a catapult. It flies autonomously at 100 km/h to the GPS coordinates of the clinic. It doesn't need a runway. It descends to a low altitude. It drops the box attached to a simple paper parachute right into the clinic's courtyard. The drone then returns to its base. Total time from order to delivery, often less than 30 minutes. This is not a prototype. This is not a promise. This is a daily routine operation. Zipline has completed over 1 million commercial deliveries. They have delivered millions of units of blood, vaccines, and medical supplies. They have expanded from Rwanda to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, and Ivory Coast. They now operate in the United States and Japan. Every flight is logged. Every delivery is documented. The impact is measured in lives saved. Maternal mortality rates have dropped in the areas they serve. This is a logistical revolution born in Africa. It required no belief in impossible physics. It required engineering, software, and a relentless focus on a real problem. Let's cross the continent to Senegal. The problem here is in the soil. Farmers rely on chemical fertilizers. These fertilizers are expensive. They often arrive late after the planting season. They can degrade the soil over time. A scientist and entrepreneur named Dr. Fodima Denton asked a different question. What if we could give plants the tools to feed themselves? Her company Sound Agriculture developed a product called Source. Source is not a fertilizer. It is a tiny vial of liquid applied to seeds or young plants. This liquid contains signaling molecules. These molecules wake up microbes already present in the soil. These microbes are natural partners to the plants. They help the plants access nitrogen and phosphorus already locked in the earth. The result is a bio-stimulant. It reduces the need for synthetic fertilizer by up to 50%. It increases crop yields. It works with the existing ecosystem. The data comes from peer-reviewed academic research. Trials are conducted in partnership with universities. Results are published in scientific journals. Farmers in Senegal, Kenya, and Mali have used it. They report higher yields of maize and soybeans. They spend less on imported fertilizer. This is not speculative. It is agricultural science applied brilliantly. It changes lives by improving harvests. You can read the studies. You can talk to the farmers. No mystery, just biology and hard data. For our third example, we travel to South Africa. The problem is both personal and universal. How do you pay for things if you don't have a bank account? How do you build a financial history if you're part of the informal economy? A company called Yoco saw this problem not as a barrier, but as an opportunity. They built a simple, rugged card reader. It connects to a smartphone via Bluetooth. A street vendor, a hairdresser, or a taxi driver can now accept card payments. That's useful, but it's not revolutionary. The revolution is in the software. Yoco doesn't just process payments. It tracks sales. It generates digital records. It offers insights. Suddenly, a small business owner can see their daily sales trends. They can prove they have a consistent cash flow. This digital footprint is their financial identity. With this identity, they can apply for loans. They can access working capital. They can grow their business formally. Yoco now serves over 500,000 merchants. They process billions of dollars in transactions. They are regulated financial service providers. Their technology is audited. Their growth is reported in financial statements. They are creating an on-ramp to the formal economy for millions. This is financial technology built for African realities. It works because it was tested, iterated, and scaled in the real world. It requires no leap of faith. It requires a smartphone and a dream of a bigger business. 3 innovations, 3 different sectors: healthcare, agriculture, finance, all documented, all scalable, all changing lives today. Now, let's pause. Let's contrast this with the world of Maxwell Chikumbutso. For years, his claims have captured our imagination. A generator that runs without fuel. A green energy solution that defies established physics. An electric vehicle that never needs charging. These promises speak to a deep desire. The desire for a leapfrog technology, a solution so profound it solves our energy problems overnight. I understand that desire. I once shared that hope, but hope is not a strategy. Belief is not evidence. The pattern with these claims is always the same. A stunning demonstration for journalists. Vague proprietary science that cannot be examined. Grand announcements of government contracts. Promises of mass production that never materialize. Then silence followed by a new, even more incredible claim. Where are the independent verification reports? Where are the peer-reviewed papers? Where are the thousands of functional units in the field? Where is the energy output measured by a neutral third party over a sustained period? They do not exist. We see videos. We see speeches. We see prototypes on stages. We do not see audit reports. We do not see customer testimonials from verified independent users. We do not see the technology integrated into a working grid. After a decade of promises, the evidence remains absent. This is the crucial difference. Zipline's drones are tracked on a public dashboard. Sound Agriculture's formulas are published in journals. Yoco's transaction volumes are reported to investors. True innovation welcomes scrutiny. It thrives under examination. It is proud of its data. If a technology truly works, its creators want to prove it. They want engineers to test it. They want scientists to pick it apart. They want customers to use it and report back. They build a case based on reproducible facts. When scrutiny is consistently deflected, when proof is always just over the horizon, a red flag should rise, not just one red flag, a forest of them. Moving beyond this story is not about censorship. It is about intellectual integrity. It is about respecting your intelligence and my own. It is about redirecting our attention, our hope, and our support to where it can actually bear fruit. This brings me to the new mission for this channel. From this point forward, our compass is evidence. We will showcase ingenuity that is verified. We will celebrate engineers who publish their results. We will analyze business models that are sustainable. We will dive into the messy, difficult, and glorious work of real problem solving. Africa is not a continent waiting for a magical solution. It is a continent building its future brick by brick, line of code by line of code. That process is less glamorous than a miracle, but it is more honest and ultimately it is more powerful. We will explore the incubators in Lagos and Nairobi. We will profile the researchers in Accra and Cape Town. We will break down the venture capital flows. We will ask tough questions about scalability and impact. We will ground our excitement in data. This channel will be a home for critical optimism. Optimism because the potential is staggering. Critical because our respect for the audience demands rigor. We owe it to the real innovators to focus on the possible. We drain oxygen from their work when we chase spectacles. So what does this mean for you? If you are tired of hype cycles, if you are skeptical of miracles that never arrive, if you want to understand the real technological transformation happening across Africa, then you are in the right place. If you believe that celebrating verified progress is more empowering than clinging to doubtful claims, then we are on the same team. This shift starts today. The next video will delve into the rise of African fintech beyond mobile money. We will look at the companies lending, insuring, and investing. All with links to their reports and data in the description. No mysteries, just the building blocks of a new economy. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. By subscribing, you are voting for this type of content. You are telling me and the algorithm that evidence matters. You are supporting a channel that prioritizes proof over promise. You are joining a community that values real progress. The journey toward a better future is built on what we can prove, not just what we can imagine. Let's explore that proven path together. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your critical mind. I'll see you in the next.